was really intrigued by the way she played different voices. And just hearing the different voices spoken and performed by someone else, not just in my own head. And I have myself read the story out in different contexts many times. I just felt that the tone that she brought to it, the kind of attitude that she brought to playing the different characters in that story was really interesting and surprising in the best kind of way. I was quite thrilled actually to hear that scene come alive. What a great question. So when I write, I find it impossible to write if I'm second guessing a kind of diverse imagined audience. And so I have to write for someone like me, for one person. Often it is someone like me. I have, I guess, a person with a similar background as myself that I'm writing for, because otherwise it's just impossible to write for, you know, an audience that I'm second guessing things about. So really the audience was someone like myself, although that just sounds terribly self-centered, but I think you have to, if you want to stay true to the vision you have as a writer, you have to avoid second guessing, you know, different kinds of audiences, and really write what's true, what feels true to you as a writer. And that's what I tried to do. I feel like novels and short stories, the impulse to write them is quite different for someone like me. With short stories, most of my stories begin with a collection of words that I feel sound good or look good in a particular order on the page. So I'm a writer who always starts with language. And I know that there are writers who, you know, start with an image or begin with a sound or a feeling, or a character. For me, it always begins with words in a particular order, and then from there, of course, things build up. It's just a process of offering the work to trusted readers for feedback. The process of feedback is absolutely crucial for me as a writer, I have to say. And then, you know, putting the work down for a little bit and coming back to it later, where you feel more confident to kill your darlings, as they say. Yes, and being a bit thick-skinned, as Michel de Kretzer always says, it's about literature. It's not about you and me when you're giving and receiving feedback. And so for me, it's about how to make the work the strongest it can be, and if that means slashing and burning, killing darlings, etc., then so be it. I've developed quite a thick skin, and I think that's it's important to have that for someone like me as a writer. Yes, I wrote The Permanent Resident because I wanted to write a book that reflected the kinds of things I was interested in, reflected my experience, stretched my imagination in ways that I hadn't seen before in the writing that I was reading. And so, you know, as writers always say, write the book that you want to read. And so I wrote a book that I wanted to read. Yes, I mean, the times we live in, it's the self-censorship, the silencing. I wrote the story almost more than 10 years ago, but sadly, it is still pertinent today. You just have to look around the way the writers and humans are being silenced across the world. I was really blown away by the wonderful atmosphere at the Vanguard and the audience, such an attentive, lively audience that laughed at all the jokes and all the stories, were really attentive to the more, I guess, somber parts of the readings that were the stories that were being performed. I'm Just hats off to Jane Messer, Tamsin Navra, Miguel and Matilda, and the rest of the Story Saloon team. What exceptionally uh, flawless production values this show had. It was just such an honor to be a writer whose work is featured in one of Story Salon's seasons. Just exceptional. I'm so honored and really blown away by the production value, the expertise, the really slick way in which the show unfolded, and the thought gone into the kinds of stories being performed, the order of the stories, the kinds of performers being commissioned, matched up with the ethos of the writer, the vision of the writer in each of the works performed today. It takes a lot of expertise, lived expertise. It takes courage. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of time spent reading, and that's what Jane Messer has done for many years, as in her work as a writer and as an academic and a teacher, but also now bringing to life the words of Australian writers, and I can't thank Jane enough. But also, I think we need more of this, more attention on the short story form. We saw today how every single word was being lapped up by the audience. Everyone was wrapped there, just kind of soaking in every single gesture, word being spoken by the performers. It's just superb. It's just such an honor to be part of Story Saloon.